feels like the only thing that will get me outside is to upload this, to record and upload. So it's about I think it's like midday or just past. Let me see if I can. No. And I thought it would be good for me to try and get outside, and just aware of the healthy effects of sunshine and fresh air and a little bit of exercise. So I've been doing pretty well for a number of days of getting outside, and I was tempted just to give myself a day off, but I feel like even though my body's tired, I can at least go to the park just close by, and upload this. I'm also listening to an audiobook. I'm on the second book of the series. It's the trio of books. The first one is the Tattooist of Auschwitz, and I'm on the second one, Silke's Journey, and it's strange because it's a compelling story because it's based on true events, but it's also, of course, a difficult story to listen to, and so I'm in that balance of trying to find something that I'm able to engage with, and that's not too that doesn't have too many negative impacts on my mind. So this one's kind of like, I think because it's based on true events and it's not a story where there's loads of just like violence in it, where a lot of crime fiction, which is what I used to read, sort of has nowadays. A lot of sort of so I've been trying to engage in listening to that. It feels like reading at the moment is just too much of a struggle. Writing is pretty much completely stopped for me for the time being, and there's thoughts that I may never be able to go back to it in regards to my strength and capacity, and I may talk about that more in depth another time. I'm feeling quite tired and drained, so I don't really feel like recording this, but it doesn't feel like I want to talk, but maybe this will, just for some productivity, maybe doing this and uploading it will help a little bit of my mood, and it will again get me outside as well. Feeling really quite tired. I've had a few days, maybe more, waking up very early and not being able to get back to sleep, and quite often I wake up in the early hours and just struggle to try and get back to sleep, and when I do, it's only for the alarm to go off of my time to wake up, my routine of waking up at a certain time. So this morning I kind of just stayed awake. I think it was past 6 o'clock, or may have been before 6, like 5 something, and I quite like the quietness in the morning, and I thought I'm not really getting a quality sleep after waking up and trying to get back into bed. So this morning I just sort of I got up early and actually started listening more to the audiobook, which was quite nice to do this morning, and for most of the morning I've been listening to it and trying to stay awake. But as compelling the story is, and how well it's been written. Been struggling with my energy, and I thought, okay, I need to maybe get some movement in my body. And then I thought, I'm not sure if I can get myself to the park. And then I thought, what can I do to get myself to the park? And then here I am, recording this quickly. So mood is generally quite low right now. Probably part of it for sure is dealing with the possibility of not being able to write anymore. Something I've been doing for a long time, and I'm at the end, very close to the end of a novel I started a number of years ago. And even with these feelings, I had the idea to just try and at least finish this novel, because I've worked hard on it, and it's been a long time where I've tried, been recording it. But even that doesn't seem possible. I was at a cafe last week, and I was staring at the same sentence for more than half an hour or so, trying to will my mind to kick into gear to assess the sentence and to edit and to improve it, and it just wasn't there. And it's mentally painful to try and push that, and part of it is just not possible. So so a lot of the last 3 or 4 days I've been visiting some family, which I would be doing anyway, I guess, if I was writing. But I've just been going for some walks. Even though writing's been a struggle for the last several years, really, it's the idea of it that's what I'm doing. It's kind of provided a structure to go to a cafe, to pack a lunch, and even though there'll be very little output on the writing, but at least I'll get myself to a cafe with my laptop, and even if I'm there for an hour, but able to write very little, but it still gives me that bit of purpose and structure. And now I'm kind of just getting used to that not being there, and it's not all negative. I mean, there is a sense of it's conflicting. There's a sense of lightness there now, because in my head there was a weight, an expectation to getting published, and that's my goal, and to obviously write many more books and create a body of work. And it helped a lot with my mental health. It gave me at the time, some value to my time, and a contribution to me sort of being here. And now it feels that's not there. So it's it's hard to assess how that's going to impact me going forward. But it's been a slow sort of, there's been a gradient of my writing, less, and that becoming more of a consistency of the struggle. And I think I've reached a point where I may have to stop, where it's gotten so difficult to do. So especially yesterday, I found myself just wandering went on a long walk, took a packed lunch with me, and in some ways it was nice, where I was kind of able to take my time, and I'm not holding the idea of writing in my head, or if time is wasted, it's not the thoughts. I think I could have spent this time, chopping away more at the novel, and so there is a bit of lightness there, and a bit of I don't feel as guilty just doing a long, slow walk, or not putting time in or focus into the book. But yeah, there's going to be a challenge to how I spend my day now. Before it was a challenge anyway with writing, to try and get, cultivate time for the cafes and stuff. But now it feels like I'm more limited to what I can do. So at the moment, perhaps listening to an audiobooks, that's a new thing for me. So it's good I'm doing that. Maybe there's some level of concentration needed to listen to an audiobook. And I want to try and, of course, record these vlogs. I'm due a podcast episode that will be good to record for this week. I just haven't gotten myself to be able to record a podcast episode as of yet. So maybe potentially today or tomorrow. I'll try not to be hard on myself to say that I should have gotten that out on Friday, which is my kind of target day to record and upload the podcast, is Fridays. So my main focus, is just the small things. Again, it's getting outside, doing some walking, exercising. I've been listening to an Eckhart Tolle audios. I went on his website a while back and bought some audios, and one of them is a retreat. So I'm kind of on this sort of virtual retreat almost, as I listen to one of the collection of audios that I've purchased from there. And I did that a lot yesterday. I went for a longer walk to another park, a bigger park, and sat on a bench and listened to the retreat. So that was nice to do. So I don't feel so bad that I'm not doing a lot of walking today. I'm just gonna go across the road to the park. But yeah, I feel like I'm on that sort of precipice of I was just going into a darker mood where I don't go outside, or at the point of exhaustion where the small things I'm doing now, trying to focus on sleep and nutrition. I'm still doing a bit of intermittent fasting and trying to do some healthy activities and activities that are not too taxing. But it can also easily just all collapse, and it feels like it's very, very vulnerable in that way, where I could just not decide, I don't have the strength to get out of bed, and then just stay in bed and not shower, and perhaps I'm projecting too much that about things that are not happening right now, but maybe it's just familiarity to older patterns of where that's happened, and I feel like I'm at that sort of point again where there can easily be a phase of just being really low, and sometimes I don't know, sometimes it feels like it's needed in some ways. You almost need perhaps a few days of letting go of everything, just having complete sort of downtime to somehow that makes sense sometimes, to not always be fighting each day to try and do healthy activities, or and sometimes you just need to let go of effort, and I'm going to try and do some cooking later as well. I'm soaking some sort of lentils that I'm hoping to make later. I'm going to use YouTube. I think there's like a few recipes on there, so I'm going to try and follow along with one of those. May not be exactly what I'm using, but something that's close enough. That will be something I can try and do later. Hopefully I'll have the strength for that. Perhaps a positive thing, recently I was able to clean finally after like a long, it may have been a month or so or more. So I was able to kind of hoover and mop the floors, and my kitchen's fairly tidy, and I've just tried to, the last day or two, just keep on top of that with like the dishes and cleaning the surfaces and countertops, and I'm trying not to have the expectation to keep on top of it in a sense, because I don't want to let myself down, because it's just more pain and stress. So there is like the intention of it, but also it can't be helped if I'm not able to keep that up. It just feels like that's the way it's, as much as I try, and I've tried over the months to, each time I've cleaned, think, okay, now I'm going to stay on top of it, but realizing that is not a realistic reality for me at this time as well. So it's just accepting that. So I'm still going to put in the effort to try and maintain, and but also aware that it's very very likely that that's going to be a struggle to do, which is just accepting what energy I have. Yeah, so I thought I'm going to go to the park now and upload this. Strange, this feels really like a lifeless vlog for me. I feel like really, I don't feel good about recording this, but maybe it's just, I'm hard on myself that everything's got to be useful and meaningful, and maybe it's okay just to have vlogs like this where I feel like just sort of half not there, or most of me is not there. Yep, so I'm going to go to the park, upload this, and then perhaps just continue listening to the audiobook for a bit. And just being in the sunlight will help my, I think, circadian rhythms, I think, if I'm pronouncing that right. And yeah, and just to help getting some fresh air, and going to the park itself is always a challenge, so it's like overcoming anxiety by doing that. So hopefully I'll feel good for overcoming that, for being around people. And my kind of goal this afternoon is perhaps cooking, really. Maybe I'll try and watch a movie, which I've been really struggling to do, and if I feel I can, maybe at some point I'll do some more recording for I've submitted a few uploads for the other channel of movies and TV reviews and thoughts. So it may, part of me feels like I want to, but I just don't have the energy to, and so yeah, I'll see when that comes together, or when there's a time where my energy's there and I want to record and talk about something I've watched. But maybe maybe it'd be from a movie, if I'm able to watch something tonight. I think it's good for me to get going now, and not otherwise I don't think if I stay any longer, I don't think I'll be able to stand up. So it's good to let's get this uploaded.